Are global food shortages next? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because, well, the question I'm putting to you are global food shortages the next big, exciting occurrence in 2022? The reason I'm asking that is because, well, wheat prices have skyrocketed. They're at $11.45. If we jump back over to this website, Trading Economics, you can see the last time it spiked up was around 2008. And, well, you know, you kind of want to range between 400 and 600 for the last decade, with a few spikes at certain times, and before that between 200 and 400. So that's quite a drastic move. We've seen it in the past. And, well, of course, this is brought about by Ukraine, the invasion that's going on there. And it will have flow-on consequences to other parts of the world. And remember the old saying, it's only, 3 days of food before a peaceful democracy falls over? Let's have a look at the top countries that are importing wheat. And this is going to affect them. Number one is Egypt, 2.7 billion, 5.7% of the total imported wheat. Indonesia, 2.6 billion. At 5.5%. So there you go, two highly populous countries with a population. Just look at what happened in Egypt in recent times. And then Turkey, 4.9%. They already have all of their problems with insane inflation over there. Their currency getting devalued to nothing. China, 4.8% of the global wheat. My understanding is they have built significant stockpiles, so it looks like they're prepared. Nigeria at 4.3%. You've got Italy at 4.3%. Algeria, the Philippines, Japan, Morocco, Brazil, Bangladesh, South Korea, Netherlands, and then Spain. So as well, a lot of significant countries in Africa and Asia are importing this wheat. So if costs skyrocket, if costs of living shoot up, that could result in social unrest, political instability, and the next crisis that we could be facing this year. This is the flow-on effect. Now, we have seen these type of increases in the past. They've led to other issues. It's something to keep your mind, keep aware of. I would imagine we'll start to see cost of living pressures increase here in Australia and other Western countries because it will flow through to us as well. But I can't imagine we'll be having food shortages anytime soon. Let's have a look at this article from Reuters that goes into it. So, bread consumers to swallow the cost of the Russia-Ukrainian war. Well, not just bread consumers as well. Meat consumers when your meat's finished with grains. So, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, one of the world's breadbasket nations, has driven the wheat prices to 14-year highs, forcing bread consumers to eat the cost. So, the invasion has severely hampered trade from Black Sea ports, driving up global Chicago benchmark wheat prices by 40% and further pushing global food inflation that was already the highest in a decade. Supply disruptions from Russia and Ukraine, which together accounted for 30% of world wheat exports and 20% of corn exports, will erode food security for millions of people, with the Middle East and North Africa especially vulnerable due to their reliance on imports, said Julie Marshall, spokesperson for the World Food Programme. Oil and gas prices have also spiked due to sanctions against Russia, while costs of freight and raw materials like steel were already soaring due to pandemic-related supply chain breakdowns. Even consumers in two of the world's biggest wheat-growing nations, Canada and the US, are paying the price. Unfortunately, for the short and intermediate term, food inflation and the cost of baked goods in the United States will go up more. This will impact the most vulnerable in our society the most, said Rob McKee, President and Chief Executive of the American Bakers Association. Weeks before the latest wheat price spike, Calgary Italian Bakery in Alberta raised prices 7% to keep pace with costs associated with last year's Canadian drought and inflation in prices of flour and yeast. Now, Louis Bortin, co-owner of the 60-year-old family business, fears he will need to raise prices significantly again once he has depleted his 4 to 5 months flour supply. This could be really, really devastating. Bontorin said, bread is one of the fundamentals, the essentials. That's the hard part. You're trying to just take what you need, but you're also cognizant of what effects higher prices have on the consumers. The buying power of everyone is just being eroded. The threat of wheat supplies from Russia's invasion of Ukraine has been exacerbated by a drop in global stock of major exporters. Supplies in the European Union, Russia, United States, Canada, Ukraine, Argentina, Australia and Kazakhstan are set to fall to a 9-year low of 57 million tonnes by the end of 21-22. So pay the costs or don't get your flour. Some mills signed contracts with farmers last autumn for the wheat they are currently using, insulating them for now from spikes related to the Russia-Ukrainian war. But one miller said once it faces those higher costs, it will have to pass those on to the bakers that buy his flour. It will be mandatory. Either pay the higher costs or don't get your flour, said the miller, who asked not to be named due to the sensitivity of the situation. I don't think the general population has any idea what repercussions they will face. After Russia invaded, Rogers Food president George Gerdner's phone started lighting up. The bakers who buy flour from his 2 British Columbia mills are now looking to secure supplies further out than before, on fears that prices could escalate even more. It's also a problem for the miller. Spring wheat supplies were already running thin because of drought last year, and now global buyers who were dependent on Black Sea supplies may turn to Canada for wheat and compete with domestic mills, Gerdner said. It's a real big concern, Gerdner said of the Russian-Ukrainian war, and the real story will be if the situation drags on. Let's have a talk about this one, guys. That is the real story. If this will drag on, if this food inflation will start to be felt. What do you reckon, everyone? Are you prepared? Should we all become preppers? I mean, problem is how much food can you stockpile? I guess if people are living on the land, they should be okay. But even then, the costs of living are going up everywhere. Are wages going to increase to match it? This is concerning. This can have real implications around the world. It can cause political instabilities. This is how you get riots. This is how you get really pissed off people. You thought we'd seen protests before in the last few years. You don't feed them, you get hungry, then the shit really hits the fan. This is one to keep an eye on. Let's hope this invasion that Russia's attempting of Ukraine just ends in a stalemate or a peace very soon and a resolution is reached, so this doesn't drag on for an extended period, because this could be a price we all have to pay. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that one. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I find and put together here, there are a few ways you can help out. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. I'm going to point you towards a recent video I did about mortgage stress decreasing here in Australia. It's going down, but rental stress is going up. We really are a two-class society, guys. The homeowners and the home unowners. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.